Alright, hello everybody. We are doing math. We are working in the Math 1 Dougal Littell, Georgia High School Mathematics 1 book. We are on page 79, working through examples numbers 22 through 33. However, I'm going to just do a few of these. I'm going to do 22, 25, 28, 29, and then 32 and 33. Which is shown on the back. So on page 79 earlier, it has two binomials sitting next to each other. So it has two numbers multiplied by each other equals 0. And I had already showed this in an earlier video, but it's the same kind of rule, zero product property. And solving these equations on numbers 22 through 33 deals with the zero product property, which is just if AB equals 0, then either one of those numbers is 0. So what our goal is to end up with a couple of expressions, set each expression equal to 0. However, this looks like it's just going to be taking out a greatest common factor, so I don't think we're even going to have two binomials. I think we'll have a monomial and a binomial, and I'll show you that. So what's the greatest thing that these two terms have in common? M. So there's an M in common with both of these. Now if I were to divide this one by M, that would leave me an M minus 10. If I divided that one by M, I'd get 10 equals 0. So now you have A times B equals 0. This one right here represents your A. Okay. This one right here represents your B. So now all you have to do is set this one equal to 0. Well, that's an answer there. 0. And then M minus 10 equals 0. So add 10 to both sides, and you get M equals 10. So your two answers are 0 and 10. Alright? You would approach number 23 the same way. It looks like that one would be B equals 0, B equals negative 14. Number 24 doesn't look much different. However, you will have to take a 5W out instead of just a W. So maybe I should start with showing you number 24. 5W, you have W minus, if you took a 5W out and you're dividing, what are you left with? Well, you're left with a 1. 5W divided by 5W, that's 1. So you have to remember to write this W minus 1 here, because some people just think, oh, well, I don't have to write it. You do have to write it. It's a minus 1. 1 is a value that you have to write. Now, I understand that if it's a 1 like multiplied by something, a lot of people don't have to write that 1, but you do have to account for this one. So now I have two numbers. This number and this number equals 0. 5W equals 0. W minus 1 equals 0. Well, this is sort of easy to solve for. You just divide by 5, get W equals 0, and then you're going to add 1 here. You get W equals 1. So 0 and 1 are your answers. So since I decided to do that one, I'm just putting a little tick mark next to it. Alright, so what can we take out of these? What's the greatest thing that'll come out? Well, you probably see a 24 and a K. You're left with a K plus, if I took a 24K out, I'm left with a 1 there. So now I set the 24K equal to 0, and the K plus 1 equal to 0. So over here, K equals 0, and over here, let's subtract 1, K equals negative 1. Alright? 26. Take an 8 out and an R. And you're left with r minus 3. If it's 8r equals 0, that implies that r equals 0. And r minus 3 equals 0, so that implies that r equals 3. Alright. Number 28, you're going to look for the greatest thing that it has in common. Between 6 and 15, it looks like a 3 goes into both of those, and also an n. So that gives me a 2n minus 5 equals 0. So over here, I think this one's easy enough to see. The 3n equals 0. So n equals 0. And 2n minus 5 equals 0. 2n minus 5 equals 0. So now what we have to do is we're going to add 5 to both sides. 2n equals 5. Divide by 2. N equals 5 over 2. And there you have it. A lot of people want to get a decimal here. There's no sense in getting the decimal there. Just stop. 5 over 2 is your answer. Teachers will totally accept this. Yes, it is 2.5. Teachers want you to write 5 over 2 there. A lot of the cases. Okay. Number 29. The greatest thing that's in between these. Now, if I see negatives, 2 negatives, I'm going to take a negative out for sure. And I think negative 2 goes into both of those, and also a y. And I'm left with a positive 4y here, a positive 5 here. So from this negative 2y, you can set the negative 2y equal to 0 and get y equals 0. And then the 4y plus 5 equals 0. Subtract 5. I'm going to do this one in my head this time. 4y equals negative 5. Then you're going to divide by 4. There's no sense in even thinking about the decimal because your fraction is good enough. Just think 5 over 4 is your answer. Negative 5 over 4. Alright? Okay.